couple games, it obviously helps with your depth, but these last 3 games, more turnovers by the opposition, lower field goal percentages. You guys are getting to the free throw line. How does he help in those areas?
He helps in all those areas. We said from the beginning what Jabril brings to the table more often than not does not show up on the stat sheet. The depth is a huge thing, because he can guard, he can play multiple positions, but it just gives us a little more flexibility with him out there. And I've always said, his competitiveness, his toughness is contagious, and when he's out there, a lot of his teammates have more courage.
Was there a point before the injury where maybe that his aggressiveness was going a bit far at times? He was getting a couple of flagrant fouls or personal fouls, or whatever you call it,
What do you call
it? The flagrant fouls and so on. Was he getting? Was there times even without fouls that he was maybe a little too much of that?
I don't know whether I would phrase it like that. I mean, sometimes you need to temper his emotions back. Absolutely, but that's what makes him who he is. That's what makes him good. He needs to make smarter decisions sometimes, and not get carried away. But at the same time, you don't want to curtail who he is too much, because then you lose that fire.
John, with Jabril healthy and presumably no more last 11th-hour suspensions, you guys are equipped for maybe a role here in the second half of the Big East season, prepared for something like that?
I hope so. I mean, that's the plan. We're still in a hole. We're still trying to crawl out of the hole. Yeah. Quite honestly, as you said, not to sound like you're making excuses, but when you have so much change in the middle of the season, it's hard. It happens at the end of the season. You have time to prepare, but we had so much in the middle of the season. But to answer your point, I mean, we that's the plan. If I say no, what's that mean? But no, I think the guys have, through it all, I think we've competed. I think that we have to play differently now. I'm not going to go into specifics, which is the next question. We have to play differently now than we were and than what we anticipated coming into the season. And I think we're finding that, hope knock on wood, we're finding that groove as to how we have to win now.
How do you DSR is not, but
when a player like DSR is in a slump, what do you do with that? And how nice is it when he does decide, he gets down low, he's getting to the line, he's not just a shooter, but.
Well, you guys have heard me say this all along. One of his strengths is not just his ability to put the ball in the hole. He is a very good rebounder for someone his size. He can get other people's shots, and I think it's a shooter's mentality a lot of time. It's the makeup of a shooter that when you're not making shots, you just feel like the world's ending. And so he has to realize that when the ball's not going in, there's still so many ways that he can help his team and do those things. And then eventually the ball will start to go in. Don't talk to him about being in a slump too much. Let's not let that sink in any more than it is, because we need him to make shots. We're trying to find ways to manufacture points with the group that we have, and so we need him to make shots.
John, is it mechanical with him now, or is it something else that the ball's just not going in when it's from the outside?
It's going to go in. We're not talking about it not going in. It's going to go in.
Obviously, you guys already had Butler once. Have they changed at all since you saw them last, and what's the key for the game tomorrow?
They are a tough team. They are a very, very, very physical team. And you remember that first time they fouled out our whole front line, and we ended up in the overtime, basically playing with guards because that's all we had. And they put pressure on you. They come at you. They get to the foul line a lot, particularly front court. And so, we have to just make sure that we guard and are aggressive without picking up ticky-tack fouls, for lack of a better way to put it. They are a very good defensive team, and they make it hard for you to score. And so we have to not get bogged down, I think, and we're trying to force any one issue. Just take what they're giving us.
At least you have practice if the front court fouls out again. You just had the last game where they had to go deal with that already.
You mean the last Butler game?
No, the last game, the front court just fouled out last game.
Well, yeah, that's true. But we got to figure out how to make that stop happening. The guys got to move their feet. But as you said, we are doing a better job, I think, one of you two, than mentioned it 4 or 5 games ago, that we're getting to the line more now. And so, we just got to find ways to just manufacture points.
Coach, you've had a chance now to play everyone in the league once, and it's a new league in terms of its construction. Is the style of play changed from the way it's been in the past, or is it still the same old Big East from your perspective?
I think the answer to that question may not lie in where you're focusing the question. The officiating has changed this year, so it's hard to be the same old Big East in many ways. But I think it's the same. I think the level of play is terrific. We've lost some good teams. We had some new good teams added to the slate, and this, you guys have heard me say these exact words. Once the dust settles, we're going to end up one of the top basketball conferences in the country. And so, does it look like it looked before? Absolutely not. But I think we're going to be okay. I like our new conference. I like what the future holds.
What do you think about the schedule? Once again this week, Saturday, Monday, just 4 weeks in a row like that. And they've got another one somewhere that coming up. What are your thoughts on that?
Have we already talked about this?
I don't know if we talked about
I've actually got it.
now that you've essentially almost gotten through it.
I think that, and this might be tied in with your question, with the new conference, with this being year one, there are a lot of kinks that need to be worked out, that are in the process of being worked out. Personally, I think that the schedule, is part of that. Now, when the schedule was made, we had a commissioner. We didn't necessarily have a point person for basketball. We have a new relationship with Fox, and the kinks are being worked out. And so, you look at our schedule, you look at the preseason rankings where you have Marquette and over Creighton as the top teams, and 2 different times this year we play those guys back to back. And then you throw in at the end of that stretch, you have Michigan State, and then which is a league game that the conference and Fox asked us to play. We're excited to do it. I'm not saying we didn't want to do it, but then you throw Michigan State at the end of those 3 teams, and then DePaul on one-day prep. It's a tough stretch, and we knew that before we hit our bad stretch. I had this conversation with some of you, definitely with Mex, back in August when the schedule first came out. But it is what it is. I mean, every coach, the other non-coaches probably can look at their schedule and come out and say, well, this is unfair. This is not good. We could wish the league had done that differently. So I don't know that we are much different than anyone else in that regard. We do have the most one-day prep games, and I'm counting the Michigan State game as in that more so than anyone else. I think we have 5. Everyone else has 4. We have 6. Everyone else has 5. I forget the exact breakdown, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to play the next game. You got to play the next game.
Coach, you kind of just referenced it with, you have 1 day to prepare from DePaul after Michigan State. How much does it help, going through the back end of the schedule here that you've already played all of these teams one time?
In theory, it helps a lot, but we play tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock or
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Then we have Providence on Monday, and so mentally, physically, emotionally, it's a quick turnaround. But they have to do it too. Does it help that you know that you already played the teams? Possibly, but it is what it is, and they have to go through it also.
Henry is playing tonight. The Cavs are in town to play the Wizards. Have you got a chance to see him play when he has played? Have you talked to him this year?
He was here yesterday, it's you see guys grow up. Henry's growing up. It's you expect I expected 1 line of comments from Henry, and we're sitting in there, and the first thing out of his mouth is, and I don't know whether I should say this because I don't want this to sound, I don't want his organization to get mad at him, but he's like, expected anything to come out of Henry Simmons' mouth. And he says, this losing is horrible. And he just starts talking about how just hard it is to get used to losing. In a perverted kind of way, like, that was good to hear. Henry said, that was good to hear. That was the one thing that he stuck on. It's not ooh, I should be playing more minutes, ooh, this, that, and the other. It's like, we're losing. We got to figure out how to stop losing. We have the talent. We got to, you know. So to answer, I'm rambling. Yes, I've talked to him. They do play the Wizards tonight. He was over here yesterday.
Anything else, guys?